Hi guys, Riley here. I'm on my walk. This will be my first video, just talking about fasting, and I'm actually going to start by doing I was going to do a 36-hour fast, but I think I'm going to stretch it because I'd like to make it to like 4 p.m. Wednesday. It's Tuesday now. Or would that be Thursday? I don't know. I need to go back and look. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to start this channel because I kind of want to owe it all to Jackie, Fasting Foodie, I think is her username. Anyway, she kind of got me on this journey a while ago. Actually, it was probably back in like November, December. With the OMAD specifically. And I kind of was obsessed with her content, specifically, the 1 meal a day stuff. And I feel like she really introduced me to that world. And her content is so great and fun. And I was just thinking, I've rewatched so much of her videos, and I replay them and I listen to them while I'm on my walk, which as I am now. And I'm like, I definitely don't want to compete with her, but I think I'd like to add to the community of it and just have more, awareness about it and give people more content surrounding it, because I really think it's just an amazing lifestyle. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of just document day by day, like how my fasting is going. Yesterday, I've been fasting for about 2.5 weeks, strictly OMAD. I've always done intermittent fasting. When I say always, I have 2 kids, so after each baby, I would do, I think it was like the 16-8. So I would start around 12 p.m. most days and go till 8 o'clock. And that honestly helped. But the more that I read the Fast Feet Repeat book that Jackie always recommends by Jen Stevens, I'm like, my body was definitely, I wouldn't say stuck because it worked for so long, but I was doing the same routine and I definitely was not clean fasting. I would have my creamer in the morning and then I'd go get like a whole milk latte. Okay, it's much quieter. So yeah, I come from, I didn't really diet in high school at all, but I did gain weight in college, and that kind of put me on just journey losing weight as a young 20-year-old. And, admittedly, because I talk about this because Jen writes about it in her book, Doing the HCG Diet, which I feel like worked amazingly for me. But just the restrictiveness now, I realize, attributed to so much, dirty mindset, as far as, counting calories and, anyways, it did work for me. And I honestly probably wasn't doing it, to a T. I was probably eating, 1,200 calories. And in, 45 days, I lost 30 pounds. It was nuts. So, anyways, and then, unfortunately, I picked up, I don't mind talking about it now, but, it's just never fun to relive. But I was bulimic for a little bit. And when I say a little bit, there was, a month period where I was just binging. And I had gained, weight back. And it was still in college, but it just was not, a good time. And it didn't even, I don't like saying this, it didn't even work for me. It was just, binging, and my stomach and my skin, everything was just a mess. So then I'd go back on HCG and yada, yada, yada. I will say, I feel like having my kids, I was 27 when I had my daughter, that kind of saved me from, the binging for a little bit. And that's when I kind of fell into the, fasting and keto, stuff like that. However, there was probably 3 years of definitely obsessing over what I ate, but there was no bulimia involved. And that really kind of changed, with my daughter, obviously, because I didn't want to do it knowing she was in the house, and it just like changed everything. So that being said, you know, a few weeks ago, I was like really just stuck on losing these last 5 pounds. And it's like, I look healthy, I have a healthy BMI, I don't have disease. Like there was no reason for it, but I did Jackie's OMAD like a few months ago and I loved it, but I only did it for like 4 days. You know, it wasn't, and it is funny because you hear like, oh my God, 1 meal a day, but the fasting definitely gets easier. And I have to say, like the clean fasts do help. And it is kind of like eye-opening, just, you know, how much I really was not fasting when I was doing like the 16-8. And so, yeah, so now, anyways, I kind of just want to document it, and specifically what kind of like strung this on, I don't even think that's a saying, but brought this on was, yesterday I fasted like 23 hours and I was doing really good, and I was slowly kind of losing, you know, half a pound in the last 2 weeks, which was great because I really want to do like steady weight loss. And then yesterday I opened my window around, I think it was 2 o'clock. And I was really proud of myself for getting to like 23 hours. But, you know, I had a meal. It was like tortillas, and that's the other thing is like really, you know, I've been carb afraid for years. And with this, I feel like I'm not as afraid with it. But yesterday, you know, Jackie would say you can't really overdo it in your window, but I didn't feel good. And so I had that, and then I had my meal later on. I made like a keto lasagna. And honestly, like I could have just stopped there. And then I kept like opening my window again till like I would snack. So I had about a 7-hour eating window, and I stopped around 9 p.m. And that just like brought back, I don't know what, but just I realized that longer eating window is not for me. Sorry, it's weird to film in public. This lady was walking in front of me and I'm like, please don't turn, so I'll get used to it, but whatever. Yeah, so that larger eating window, I realize just does not work for me. It's like, and I'm really working through like the diet mindset, as like Jen mentions in her book. And I really recommend reading that. It was not super scientific, but scientific enough that like she obviously knows what she's talking about. I did also read Obesity Code. And like if you're reading about fat, I definitely think it has some great like science and knowledge to it. That was hard for me to get through, and I ended up kind of like fast forwarding to sorry, my allergies are so bad. Fast forwarding to like the fasting chapter where that's what he talked about, but a lot of it was talking about like obesity and like how we got there. And I know it's obviously like a big deal in our country, but I'm not obese, so it didn't resonate with me, if that makes sense. So that was kind of a bummer that I didn't love it as much, but I understand the importance of it. Anyway, so the Feast Repeat was just amazing. And I think I need to really reread it again, like cover to cover, because I broke it up when I was reading it. And it just kind of nails like a lot of points, specifically about like dieting and like not counting calories, which that's very weird to me. Like, not weird in a bad way, but it's foreign to me because for so long I just obsessed, you know. And I'm even thinking like yesterday or even today, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do my 36 or 42 hour fast. And that's kind of that diet mentality of like punishing myself, right, for overeating, not losing weight. But on the opposite side of that, I feel so good when I do the longer fast. Like, you just feel clean and like emptied out. And so like for that, I feel like it's gonna kind of get me back on track. And now it's like realizing the 1 meal a day, the like 1 to 2 hour eating window is good for me. Like, that's what I like. And eating last night so late, like my stomach hurts today. I'm foggy. I wasn't excited this morning. Not that I like wake up like doing cartwheels or anything, but I just have that fog. And so I think an important part of this too, like Jackie always says, is like, and Jen, you know, you gotta fix, I forget the phrase, but you gotta fix like and learn about your fasting schedule and what works for you. Like I said, I've been fasting 18-6 or 16-8 for a few years. So I've been already kind of adjusted to that. So going straight to the OMAD and the like 1 meal a day was pretty easy for me. I still get hungry. So I'm working through that, but I'm still only about 2.5, 3 weeks into the OMAD. So loud. And the other thing I wanted to point about just about last night and like the longer eating window is I have my Oura ring, which I've been loving, by the way. I still use this, my Apple Watch, for walking because I like to really track. This will definitely track it, but I like to like look at this when I walk and then I take it off. But my Oura ring, if y'all have it, and obviously it's not sponsored because no one's probably watching this, but it will like pick up how crappy I slept, and it'll be like, something's off today, and it like really picks up my anxiety and just my brain around that. But yeah, I just really want to like hit it home too that, you know, I keep mentioning Jackie, Fasting Foodie. She really like is such a champion in this community. And that being said, I really want to like add to it. This is not like to compete, because I always, like I said, I rewatch her videos, and like I know there's a few other fasting, like 6 Miles to Supper, she's good, and Ryan, I forget his name, but I just kind of want to add to it because I do think it's, you know, as people will say, it's kind of like a magic trick, and once you get it and nail it, it's amazing. Okay, I just showered. I just want to show you, I am only 14 hours into my, I keep saying 36-hour fast, but that's, I think I'm going to push it, because if I did it, it would be at like 8:30 the next day, and I don't want to eat in the morning. I don't like doing that. I want to push it to 4 p.m. So I think that gets me like 44 hours. I'm not a mathematician by any means, so I'm sure someone's going to tell me. Black coffee, husband's calling me, water. Feel okay. My stomach really hurts right now, so I know it's all from yesterday. Okay, it's 3 o'clock, so I'm, I have to run one errand, and then I'm gonna, run and grab, I actually might just grab another coffee right now, because my iced coffee from today, but I think I'm actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna get hot, but I'm gonna get decaf, even though it's, excuse me, 68 degrees. I don't know, I just kind of want like a hot coffee instead of iced. I realize I say a lot, but I really need to chug my water. Also, I'll probably show you guys when I get home what I do for sodium. So I definitely notice on my longer fasts, like anywhere between 22 to 24 hours and longer, that my legs do hurt. So it's not significant and it's like lower, but they do hurt. And I do have an amino acid and an electrolyte from Perfect Amino that I love, but they have the flavor, so it's not clean fasting. So I'm actually gonna put, I just do like a little bit of sea salt, like the good sea salt, and I warm up a glass of water, like a little bit, and then I just chug it. So, and that actually really helps. And I noticed as soon as I did it too, I wasn't like super hungry. Not that I'm starving all day, but I definitely get waves. And I feel like the more I drink of that, not the more, because I only do about 1 a day, it kind of helps like subside with the hunger. All right, I'll see you later. Hi guys, got my black coffee. I just recorded a video, but it was kind of dark because I was upstairs. But I ended up like canning my 44-hour fast. I ended up fasting 22 hours, which was great, but I was like beyond starving, and that's not really normal in my longer fast, so it's bothering me. So I kind of just ended up eating. I had like a 1 hour eating. I started around like 7:30 and ended at 8:30, but I find that, you know, like I'm such a late night snacker, like I can go all day, but it's like nighttime, I like to feel really full going to bed, and I know that's not necessarily healthy, but usually if I stop eating between like 5 and 6, I'm fine there. So last night was great, and I actually slept pretty good. So, you know, I'm not necessarily ashamed I didn't make it to the 43, but I just really was like listening to my body, and you know, I was pretty starving. So like I said, something was kind of off. I'm just gonna, you know, get back on. There's no wagon, actually, as Jen says, there's no wagon to get on and off, but you know, you gotta just be consistent. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and make it, let's see. So I'm only 11 hours because I ended late last night, but if I do 22, that would get me to 6, like 20-ish, so that might work. I did a little grocery. I walked to the grocery store. And I probably didn't need what I bought. And this is like, I'm really trying to get out of like diet mindset again. Like I think, and I have to remind myself, I'm only 3 weeks into this. Like I just find myself constantly checking like carbs and how much, you know, and I will say, like, if I, you know, without tracking can keep my carbs under like 100 a day, 100 grams a day, I feel great. It's kind of like when I go over that, I just don't feel good. And I don't know if it's been restricting for so long, the bread, the pasta, you know, all that. But now it gets to the point where like, if I do have bread and a lot of it, it will hurt my stomach. So like, I'm trying to process through that, meaning by like adding more carbs in. And I have to say, like the fasting part of it, like gives me some relief. And, anyways, so I'm trying to add more carbs in, but I also really do enjoy eating like keto, like high protein. My body, like I feel the best when I eat pretty high fat. I don't love avocados though, so that's the only thing. But anyway, so I got some stuff. So I do like, and I know these say like carb balance, but I wanted the whole wheat, because I do peanut butter and then I drizzle like some honey on it. And again, like I caught myself, I wanted almond butter because I don't eat as much of it. Whereas like peanut butter is like, forget it. So this is a whole process. But peanut butter with honey. And then I wanted to make like I know it's almost summer, but I wanted to make, like I just know pumpkin's really good for you. So I wanted to make this like a pumpkin cheesecake, but I don't add the crust because I am not like a pie crust person. So I will just eat it like that. I want some of these, and then it's more like snacky stuff, but I hope this isn't turning out backwards, but that was my haul. I'll see you later for dinner.